हेलो एवरीवन, आप सभी का स्वागत है मेरे यूट्यूब चैनल पर। आज हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं व्हाट इज़ कॉल्ड कंज्यूमर्स इक्विलिब्रियम। इन आवर प्रीवियस वीडियोज़ वी हैव ऑलरेडी स्टडीड अबाउट द concept of indifference curve and budget line. As we know, an indifference curve is the locus of various combinations of two goods where every combination provides the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. Similarly, a budget line refers to the various combinations of two goods which can be purchased with the same budget. And consumer's equilibrium refers to the point where the consumer maximizes his satisfaction from his purchases of goods and services. And the concept of consumer's equilibrium is based on two conditions. Number one condition, the consumer's equilibrium is attained at a point where the indifference curve is tangent to the budget line, where the slope of indifference curve will be equal to the slope of budget line. The slope of indifference curve refers to marginal rate of substitution of good X for good Y, that is mu X divided by mu Y, whereas the slope of budget line refers to the ratio of the prices of good X and good Y, that is price of good X divided by price of good Y. Second condition that must be fulfilled for a consumer to be in equilibrium is that at the equilibrium point the indifference curve must be convex to the origin. इसका मतलब होता है at the consumer's equilibrium point the slope of indifference curve must be diminishing. It means marginal rate of substitution of good X for good Y must be falling at the consumer's equilibrium point. So based on these two conditions, now we will study about the concept of indifference curve in detail now. The concept of consumer's equilibrium is based on certain assumptions which are as follows. Number one, there is a defined indifference map showing the consumer's scale of preferences across the different combinations of two goods. Number second assumption is the consumer's income level is constant and given. Number third assumption, the prices of good X and good Y is also given and constant. Number fourth assumption, the goods are homogeneous and divisible. And number fifth assumption is the consumer acts rationally. Okay, these are the basic assumptions of consumer's equilibrium. On the basis of these assumptions, now let us look at this diagram. In this diagram we have 5 indifference curves: IC1, IC2, IC3, IC4 and IC5, and we know higher indifference curve provides higher level of satisfaction, and since the consumer acts rationally, the consumer always tries to reach at the highest indifference curve to get maximum satisfaction from his consumption. And since the money level, since the budget of the consumer is given, so we draw a price line that is called budget line, that is PL on this graph. The PL budget line shows the various combinations of good X and good Y that can be purchased with the same budget the consumer has. Okay, now there are various combinations that lie on the budget line. The combinations are R, H, S, T and Q. We see R and H both combinations lie on the lowest indifference curve, that is IC1. So even the consumer can purchase these combinations with his budget, but he would not prefer to buy these combinations because R and H lie on the lower indifference curve that provides the least satisfaction to the consumer. And similarly, S and T both combinations lie on IC2. indifference curve 2 में dependent है S and T. These both combinations S and T can also be purchased with the same budget, but the consumer still would not buy these two combinations because these combinations provide less satisfaction to the consumer. Now the combination Q is the combination of good X and good Y that lie on इंडिफरेंस कर्व 3 IC3 के में आता है Q पॉइंट का कम्बिनेशन. ओके, एंड दिस Q combination contains OM units of good X and ON units of good Y that provides the maximum satisfaction to the consumer with his given budget. Because IC4 and IC5 indifference curves are beyond the budget of the consumer. So any combination on IC4 and IC5 cannot be achieved by the consumer. So IC3 is the highest indifference curve for this customer in our example, because the Q is the combination point where indifference curve IC3 is tangent to the budget line PL. So this is the point of consumer's equilibrium where the consumer maximizes his satisfaction from the consumption of good X and good Y, because here both conditions of consumer's equilibrium are fulfilled. The number one condition is that there must be the tangency of indifference curve and budget line that is fulfilled at point Q, and second assumption is indifference curve must be convex to the origin at the point of tangency, and this is also true in our example, because at the tangency point the marginal rate of substitution of good X and good Y is falling, therefore it is convex to the origin. Hence at combination point Q, OM units of good X and ON units of good Y provides maximum satisfaction to the consumer, and hence the consumer gets equilibrium point. So this is the concept of consumer's equilibrium. Okay, and along with this, like and share my videos and also subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.